Mark, good evening. Welcome to EV Marketplace on a Wednesday night.
Good evening, Rosco, and the women and children at home.
Thanks for waiting in the
All
wings.
trip.
Big night tonight and catching up with Stan beforehand. And look, plenty of news on the X-Punk front. I couldn't ignore it. But yeah, what did you think of that new Jag? Did you see that one? Of their new Range Rover? Did you see that one? Mm.
No, I think you described it well. I think, do we really need another range? And if they're not proud of it, why should we care?
Yeah,
Not to have a hot
exactly.
take.
Exactly. Hey, thanks for joining us. And we start off as a brand new owner of a brand new EV and a brand new brand to Australia. In the EV space, we start off and we normally ask our guests, what was your EV aha moment? When did it actually sort of make sense to you that EVs were going to be the future?
Yeah, well, I was in my mid 20s. I was teaching English in China. I was there for a couple of years. And even back then, even, a dozen years ago, that still feels like the future. I can't imagine what it's like now, but ubiquitous personal electric transit,
Yeah,
extension cords out of third or fourth story windows to charge
yeah,
scooters on the ground, and just being in a city teeming with people, and yet no sound,
yeah,
no tailpipe emissions. It was great. It was freedom, and it felt like how it should be.
yeah,
And then to come back to the West after that
yeah.
felt very much like going back in time. So an early eureka moment.
Which was the other way around, yeah. Which was everyone's perception was it was the other way around, right?
Yeah, that China was rushing into car ownership, and definitely when
Yeah,
I was there, there was, you're starting to see more petrol cars on the road, and it was like a whale shark
yeah,
moving through a school of fish. They'd
yeah,
have to move slowly and very deliberately, and everyone kind of just go around them. But even while I was there, I was seeing all the old clunker, petrol taxis
yeah,
slowly going off the roads, and this was a dozen years ago.
yeah.
So when I
Uh,
got here, I got to jump in an EV early, an early Tesla from owned by a guy who's a financer and philanthropist, and a name behind a political movement here that I won't give it away, but he's associated with a light blue color, and
what
got
year
to
are we
drive a
talking about?
Tesla.
What year are we up to now?
We're up to 2017,
Yeah,
2018. And yeah, so a fairly, I'm not early to the EV game, but yeah, getting in my first Tesla was
yeah,
getting in a spaceship, and I was like,
yeah,
oh, this performance is cool.
yeah,
This feels like a fighter jet.
yeah. I'm amazed. Yeah, the Four Corners, the ABC, which I'm happy to promote. They're doing another expose I just saw as well and they're doing another trip to China. And one of the things I think the journalists are so fascinated about, apart from the number of EVs and the proliferation of EVs, is the quietness, right? It's really
Yeah,
quiet, and I think that
it is.
that message came along loud and clear about her experience over there. Not just driving an EV for the first time, but how quiet it is now with all the EVs. And yeah, I think it's something we look forward to here as well. I'm looking forward
100%.
to it.
It was a foreign correspondent show. I watched it this morning. Actually,
Yeah,
got shared around my work, and I gave that a watch this morning. And
yeah,
it's absolutely true. I get footage of friends who are over in China saying
yeah,
like, can you believe how quiet this is?
yeah,
And even in my own experience in my suburb out in the eastern Melbourne foothills of the Dandenongs,
yeah,
you get the hoons going by at 2, 3 a.m.,
yeah,
and that's annoying. And you get your young people whipping by on their e-bikes,
yeah,
and you're like, I really hope you don't bust your head, but at least you're
yeah.
quiet. And
We've
that's
got a
okay.
couple of got a couple of questions that about your accent, and so let's give us the 2 minutes back history of where it
There you
how you
go.
cross so many borders so quickly. Mm,
Seattle born, raised in New Zealand. If anyone knows Gavin over there in New Zealand,
mm.
we went to rival boarding schools. I'm a St. Paul's boy. He's a St. Peter's boy. He's one of the weird horse people. I'm from the rowing and rugby school. I did neither.
Yeah.
I've been a Kiwi my whole life with this accent, which has been doing weird things to the identity.
It is. It's tricky. It's tricky for most people. Mark and I didn't speak, but it wasn't until I listened to his videos that it didn't make sense for me either. So plenty of comments from everybody about the lack of noise. And again, I take it for granted when people talk about road noise. of EVs. It's at the periphery of after you get past engine noise and the fine sounding stereo. But we'll get to that. Finally, you might hear a little bit of road noise from the tires, but yeah, we're cutting straws there. That's for sure. So you were driving what, and what happened, and then how come it took you so long to buy an EV then?
Yeah, good question. You know, uh, I was exposed to them. I knew they were around, but my perception
Mhm.
of EVs were, they were 40, 50, sixty
Yeah,
thousand dollar cars, and that wasn't in my budget. And
yeah,
I didn't need a car. I've been in Melbourne for 10 years.
mm,
I've had a car and I've used it, but it's always been the weekender or
yeah,
the day trip mobile. Um, the vast majority, I'd say 99% of all the commutes I've done in Melbourne has been
yeah,
a combination of my own 2 feet, train, tram, and bus.
yeah,
The thought of actually driving to work in Melbourne, I can't imagine it. So why spend that much money on any car,
yeah,
let alone an EV? Although that would have been the preference.
yeah,
But the reason why now, well, it was early 2026, and there's some geopolitics going on in the
yeah.
world, and I'm not on this side of the world with this accent by accident. Um, so I just wanted to nope out of being like, well, I hope the petrol price
Yeah,
goes down, or there's a big part of me that's a climate person that wants the petrol price to go up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So and my partner owned a Toyota Echo, and it's like the dream car for the person who bought it from us now. Single female owner for the last 14 years.
Yeah,
A very well maintained Toyota Echo, which, as we
perfect,
all
yeah,
know,
yeah,
will run till the heat death of the universe. But you can't replace the fact it's got one airbag,
yeah,
and it's still a 20-year-old car, and will keep needing more and
yeah,
more feeding and watering over time. So
yeah.
nobody
Sadly, you
really
probably sold it for more
jumped
than
on
you
it.
bought it for, but that's yeah, I don't
I think over
understand.
15 years, it did well as a petrol car.
Yeah, exactly. And so coming to what date was the catalyst this year with the petrol spike, or had you moved quicker earlier than that?
No, it really was. It was all post February
Okay.
18th or whatever the exact date
Wow.
of all of this started. Feels like 8 years ago.
Now that's fascinating because I mean we've talked about people who have acted like, but I literally haven't met one. So you're the first person who I've actually met and talked to has actually taken the jump at that time and resulted in a. So without teasing too much longer, what did you buy, and let's tell us about the car and why, right? Mm.
Yeah. So I bought an Ion UT. I did it. Yeah. There's my baby. I not only bought a new car, which I always thought was going to be
Mm.
just a ridiculous thing to do. You drive it off the
Yeah,
lot, it
yeah,
drops in value.
yeah,
It's a depreciating asset. Why buy a new car?
yeah,
Never had before. Never thought I would. But I not only bought a new car, Roscoe, I paid extra for a paint color.
yeah.
Like, what a schmuck!
do, you, do, do you feel how much just while we're at it, how much extra was the paint?
Absolutely. I'll give you some quick numbers. It was
Yeah.
500 bucks for the paint. Because I got in on the first 600 pricing with GAC, it was 31,590 drive away,
Okay.
including GST, which I didn't pay because I did a novated lease,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that's including the paint. So that extra five in the 590 is just to have an emerald green car. Because I'm from Seattle, I'm from the Emerald City. You got to do it. You know?
I haven't. I'm going to go. I'm going to race back and look at configuring the Aeons now to see. But it's a nice looking. I've seen one on the road. It's a very nice looking car. There's no doubt about it. It is a good looking car, and I've liked it from the day I saw it as well. And I've seen quite a few around the traps around Sydney roads already, which is always a good sign. If you start seeing these
Yep.
cars, to me, it's yes, sort of more the mini size and better mini shape than maybe the mini could have been for half the price, and slightly lower and sleeker. But you tell me about it. Tell me what you've enjoyed so much.
From your lips to BMW's ears, Roscoe, on the Mini. What a beautiful heritage to buy and then do that too.
Yeah,
Um, The in the list of my favorite hatchbacks, the Golf GTRs,
Yeah.
your Civics, this is, it is not. I'm not going to put a poster up of it
No.
on my wall, but it's car shaped,
Yeah.
and it's not silly. It's got a round steering wheel and normal door handles,
Yeah.
which I'm so excited about. So yeah, when I saw it, I was like, "Yep, it's got eyelashes.
Mm.
Yep." When you see a group of them, you're like, "That looks like a gaggle of little ducklings
Yeah.
following their mom."
Yeah.
They're cute, but honestly, if Toyota did what they should, and I'm
Yeah.
going to go out on a limb here, and just made an electric Yaris or an electric
Yeah.
Corolla
I know.
hatch,
Yeah.
and it looked like this,
Yeah.
they'd sell a million of them. But I think they wanna show people that, "Hey, EVs aren't good yet. Look at
That's it.
what we make."
Mm.
And I know they're getting better. So, my anger at Toyota has diminished over the last 12 months, but it's not extinguished yet, because
I know.
why
Yeah.
is Toyota dragging their heels? So,
Yeah. I know.
we'll
And
talk
it
about it, Roscoe, right? But sorry, this is the company that makes Toyota
yeah,
in
yeah.
China. They've made Toyotas for 20 years. How
Okay.
can Toyota say, "We can't do this"?
Yeah. So let's dig back into the brand again, GAC. And again, here's the guy happy to give them both the brand and the model and the dealership a bit of a plug here. So again, it took a bit of a risk to get on board with the brand, but probably not if you know or you're in China and you know the brand and you know what they've done already. So tell us a bit more about the brand GAC and again about the local experience. Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, from my time in China, GAC didn't cross my radar, but all of the electric car brands we now know so well
Yeah,
weren't on my radar. So, when I was looking to buy an EV, I absolutely was starting a little bit from scratch. I knew
yeah.
the established players. I knew
Okay.
your American and your European brands. But you go to a car show now, and you're just overwhelmed
Hmm.
by the number of Chinese brands,
Mm.
and you know that this number of brands is greater than it will be in 5 years. So when I was looking to buy a car, buying a new car,
Mm.
I was taking a risk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I looked at what was in the category. I did not want an SUV. I don't have a family.
Mm.
I don't have kids.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for a vehicle that's any bigger than I need it to be.
Yeah.
So I wanted a hatchback. I looked at what was available in that category, and just on paper,
Yeah.
the Ion UT has a 60 kilowatt hour battery.
Mm.
That's double the size of some of the other ones in this category, or
Yeah.
or a third,
Yeah.
and it's got a stonkingly big motor. It's
Yeah.
it's double the size of the entry level EX2 that launched 6 months after this one did.
And I think and the
So
Steel's got yeah, the 30 grand models is not even close to it's a 45 kilowatt battery, something like that, isn't it? Maybe not
yeah,
even not
I
even
gotta say, I was
close.
excited about the Atto one when they announced it, and then I kind of saw it, and I'm like, I don't want a Lamborghini hatchback.
Look, I don't even see the Lamborghini styling. I mean, it's
I'm
not
being
one of my
generous
favorite
then.
designs. I like BYD. We like all EVs, but it's not one of my favorites, and I can't even see the Lamborghini influence that's been portrayed on the front. It is a we just got one question. It's just confirming it's a rear-wheel drive, yeah, as well.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, sorry, apologies. No, it's not.
Okay.
It is not a rear-wheel drive, but
Yeah, okay.
having driven the MG4, having
Mm.
driven some other cars, I personally do not notice the difference, and I
No,
drive
no.
mountain roads. I wasn't looking for a driver's car. I
No,
like
no.
driving slow cars fast rather than
Yeah.
fast cars slow.
For a smaller car, for a smaller compact, front wheel drive's been the norm for 20, 30 years now. And so I wouldn't probably expect anything less given the size of the car as well. So the dealership here again, oh, let's finish the GAC story. So you discovered
Yeah.
the car, then work backwards to the brand. What did you satisfy yourself that that was going to provide you the support and the given that you were buying a new car for the first time?
Yeah, so I sort of found the car on paper,
Mhm.
found the specs, then did a bit of research into the brand,
Yeah,
learned about their more than 20-year joint venture history with
yeah,
Toyota and Honda. They've just surpassed 30 million vehicles produced, and they broke that record in the last couple weeks.
okay.
Um, Yeah,
30.
I've satisfied myself they're not a fly by night.
Yeah.
Um, and then saw that there was a GAC dealership just down the road. So that photo before,
Mm.
shout out to Thomas there. That is a Nissan GAC dealership at Ferntree
Yeah.
Gully. I went down, did a test drive. Tom just said, "Look, take it out for an hour, take it out for
Mm.
two, take it for as long as you want." I drove up the mountains. I drove to my partner's work. I gave her a call. I said, "Do you want to go for a drive?" She came out of work. We took it for a drive. I went back. I put my deposit down.
Yeah.
It was the right car on paper, and then it was the right car after going for a drive.
Yeah.
And I was reassured that the silly thing of buying a new car was less silly than it could have been because at least I was satisfied I'd done my due
Yeah.
diligence,
Yeah.
and I hopefully won't regret it.
Oh, it's good to get a good dealership experience. So shout out to them as well. Yeah, they'll be selling more GACs than they would be Nissans probably at the moment as well. So they'd be happy to have it. It's amazing the number of new dealerships that have popped up with the new Chinese brands. So clearly they feel like they're going to get some support. I've sort of reverse engineered it about whether they'll be there and whether they're supportive, and the number of dealerships that have taken on multi-franchise situations with the new Chinese brands clearly means that whatever the promise was from China about service and after sales and warranty, they are satisfied that that's going to be delivered. Otherwise, they wouldn't put their brand up and risk it. So I've sort of reverse engineered an argument to prove that it's going to be there. And particularly GAC, it is, there's state owned and there's privately owned. We looked at Xpeng before as a privately owned investment tech led company. GAC is a state owned, one of the regional type state owned car companies, which has been for a long time. And as you mentioned before, they are building Toyotas in China. Yeah, that's what I heard you say? Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah, that joint venture with Toyota is over 20 years old.
Yeah. Okay. So not only are they a state back, which again leads us to, do you think this car is spying on you or not? Mm.
I already lived in China for 2 years, Roscoe, and
They know.
I know someone's spying on me all the time.
They are you a spy? Are you a spy? Are you a double agent? That's the other question. See?
I can confidently say that it makes it more interesting if I answer that evasively.
Okay, because no double agent's going to admit to the fact that they're a double agent, are they?
Double passport, if not double agent.
All right, okay. Have you got a Kiwi passport still? I've still got
I
one.
do
Yeah.
indeed.
I
Yeah,
got Australian. You got American and Kiwi and Australian.
American Kiwi. Here's a Kiwi, so I
Brilliant.
better not get caught doing anything bad.
Okay. Here's a, and of course, look, along comes with that is the car itself. We've got a couple of questions about the physical dials and the buttons. And again, I haven't got any. We've got a bit on the inside. We haven't done it. This is not a full review. We're not trying to pull the car apart and put it back together. Check out Mark's channel, which I'll show you the details later on. We'll do a plug for him. He started his own YouTube channel to promote this car and his experiences and his joy of owning it already. So we'll talk a bit more about that. But is there a problem, do you think, with buttons or no buttons? Yeah.
So the car itself has
Mm.
buttons. They are all on the wheel, and there is two kind of programmable shortcut buttons
Yeah.
on the. I must stress this: the steering wheel, which is a circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Hard to find, very valuable, at least to
Yeah.
me. So no, everything else is through the screen, but there is, yeah, like the HVAC it's always there. I've had no issues with it. I'm not sure if that's because I was born in 1990
Yeah.
and screens make sense to me.
Yeah.
Um, the door handles are handles that you can open and close the windows with normal, you know, all the other stuff. I don't touch it enough for it to be a big deal.
Yeah. This is you sitting back with the seat back in in very relaxed mode for a start.
Camping mode, yes, and I was complaining that I couldn't put anything on that screen, that
Mm.
that aforementioned big, beautiful screen, but I will be testing later in the year one of those little third-party devices that let you, turn your car into a cinema. Who needs a drive-through when the car itself is the cinema?
I know. One thing I did catch in listening to part of your video was how thrilled you were that the steering wheel was round. and
Yep.
solid. And yeah, it looked like a steering wheel and felt like a steering wheel. So I'm impressed that you're impressed. So
Simple minds, simple pleasures, Roscoe. But I mean, I can drive like I want to drive,
yeah,
which is with a round steering wheel.
and it's easy, and it's easy to park, and it's easy to drive, and it's quick enough to be quick enough, and it
Yep.
gets you from A to B. And what's your setup in terms of charging? Did you end up doing anything at home or not?
So I've gone very, very basic. So I've had the car now since June
Yeah,
12th. It came with the level one granny charger. I've
yeah,
got a PowerPoint just by the front door. I take it out a window. I charge overnight.
yeah,
I've currently spent $2 on public charging,
yeah.
and that was at a
Mm,
Jolt's charger, where it was $2 to start the session, and you get 7 kilowatt hours free.
mm,
So everything else, all of my driving, and
yeah,
I've done 2,500 Ks since June 12th. So it's nothing on Stan.
no, it's
I don't want to steal any valor from Stan and his big lap, but all of my charging's been at home.
And another question about, do you know who's supplying the batteries for the UT? Mm.
I'm willing to bet they're not from Norway. It's one of the big Chinese
Yeah,
companies, whether that's CATL
yeah,
or whomever. Watch Dave's video,
yeah,
who you had on a couple weeks
that's
ago.
true.
He did a really good breakdown of the battery tech in
Yeah,
it. Their magazine battery. I was reassured, learning things I
yeah.
didn't know about that battery.
I know. Check out, yeah, Beyond EV with Dave Crockett. We've had him on as well. He's the BYD expert, branching out into other cars, and he's done a fantastic review, a very comprehensive review. But check out also Mark's details as well. He's done more driving stuff already. And again, to the extent where, yeah, you've already got the community together in a short space of time in Melbourne, the UT community. Mm,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not a reviewer. I'm an owner of
yeah,
one EV, and that's what I do.
yeah,
And really, I started the channel for reasons we'll talk about. But
mm,
I started with this content because there was a gap in the market.
yeah,
The UT is out. It's available. It's compelling.
yeah,
It's a great value for the price. So those videos have done really well,
mm,
predominantly in the Philippines.
yeah,
Looking at the stats of it, they're just starting to get this car. They're curious what it's like.
yeah,
And I wanted to meet the other people who were, you know, taking this risk on
yeah,
a new to
yeah,
Australia
yeah,
brand. So I just jumped on the UT Facebook group and I said, "Hey, who wants to do cars and
yeah.
coffee?" And I got there
And
was
here they,
6 cars on the day.
it's beautiful. No, I know. Just like that.
Happy smiling faces. We'll do more. I want to do some
Yeah.
group drives. It's a good way to meet people, and they're the ones now telling me all about. Oh, you can get this deal on these floor mats, or
Yeah.
this deal on the ceramic paint protection, and all the stuff I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
But if I was curious, they're doing the research for me. So thanks.
Mm. Sensei thinks you might be related to Dave Crockett, but yeah, no relation. So
I can honestly say that I'm not related to either Davy Crockett or David Crockett,
okay, that's right.
to the best of my knowledge.
That is brilliant. But you've done some other work in the social media. We'll jump to Mark's YouTube channel if you want to follow him. We've got your subscriber base on board tonight, Mark. We've got 27 on board watching, which is a record for us. So you must have brought your crew with us. So everyone subscribe to the Happy Warrior, and then we can double your subscriber base tonight as well. We can do that in reverse. As that sound? Everybody who's watching, subscribe to Mark right now, and and because
I love a win-win.
and hopefully it'll be a win-win. Would you recommend the Aeon? Sorry, I've got to learn to say it properly. Ion
It's their
UT.
fault. They put an A in it, Roscoe. It's not your fault at all. The Aion UT, if you're look, I wanted to say this after you came back from the news, and I'm looking at all of these plans.
Congratulations again.
I bought a new car, even though there's cheaper cars available secondhand that might even be
I know.
better on paper. I did the thing.
I know.
So would I recommend you buy this? If you're buying a new car,
That's
I'd
okay.
recommend this one if
Yeah.
it ticks your boxes. But for normal people, I'd say go to Amazing EV and buy an amazing secondhand EV.
Thank you, Mark.
Ah,
Much appreciated. Good to see you, and we look forward to
um,
catching up again with more information, more updates about the Aion UT and the rest of the Aion range. And again, look, can't see anything going wrong with it. Can't see any servicing. Can't see any running costs that's going to break the bank. It's perfect car to drive around. I like them. I like the shape of it. I'm on board with it as well. Take that button off, Ross. Yeah, I know. I'm getting shit from somebody um, about the
you're
applause
doing
button,
great, Rosco.
but I thought it was worth going again. There's Mark's channel. Take another look. There'll be details in the description down below. But hey, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it, Mark, and look forward to some more stories and more travels. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Roscoe. Thanks, Mrs. Amazing.
That was Mark, and look, owner of an Aion UT, one of my favorite new small EVs, and he obviously loves it as well. So great to see the people jumping on board. I think that's going to be one of the better sellers, best sellers in that range as well, on looks, on features, on driving, just on everything. So great price, and look forward to seeing those on the used car market as well. I think there's going to be a few of those around. Thanks everybody for joining me. Well, thanks Joe, thanks Sensei, thanks Hal. Lots of news, lots of guests. Thanks everybody. 27 record. Shout out next time. There's plenty of banter going on. I'm Roscoe. We'll take you out with some more cars on Amazing EV tonight. And if you stay with us, there might be a link through the Ludicrous feed later at 9 o'clock. I'm Roscoe, and we'll catch you next time.